Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the Aintree 5K, the fifth race in the Top Flight series brought to you by RunThrough. I'm Richard Morell, and I'm joined in the studio today by, well, how do I introduce this man? I don't know, but I will certainly try. He's the man of the hour. We've said it before, he's too sweet to be sour. Cameron, the bad boy of British athletics, Boyack. Cam, always a pleasure, never a chore, my friend. How's it going?
Yes, thank you very much for that introduction, Big Red. I mean, the only thing is I'm lacking on is I don't have an athletics weekly cover like you, so I am slacking a little bit, but yeah, it's great to be in the presence of a legend. So, but yeah, no, looking forward to the race. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. We can see the conditions. I mean, there's a little bit of a blow on the flag there, but nothing too bad. We have had word from the race director, Chris Parr, that the conditions are pretty much perfect out there. I mean, you can see the weather nice and warm. Athletes are still warming up in the shorts and vests. Looks like it's not going to be too warm, but just about right. We're up here in Newcastle in the studio, so when I went out this morning, first thing I thought was the conditions must be pretty nice down there if it's nice up here. But yeah, look, we were just chatting before the race. We've run ourselves actually on Newcastle racecourse, so I'm looking forward to seeing how this one goes, because if it's anything like Newcastle, it's going to be fast.
Yeah, absolutely, Cam. We did have a little chat with Chris this morning. He said the weather conditions are pretty much perfect. It does look a little bit breezy there, but hey ho, we can't have it 100% all the time, so I'm sure it won't affect the athletes too much. The actual course itself, so we've got two 2.5k laps. Obviously on a race course, nice and flat all the way around, so that's really going to play in the athletes' favour for getting some potential quick times there. The event itself, you know, Chris, the race director, is really trying to push the crowd engagement here. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring you as much information as we can throughout the race. We've got time mats down, so we're going to get splits on the go for the athletes. We've also tried to bring in a second stream today that we're, you know, it's the first time we've tried this, but we're going to do our best with it. So we'll bring you as much information as we can about both races. I think, Cam, what we'll do, we've got a couple of minutes now, so we may as well have a chat through some of the big names in the race, I would say. And I think we'll start with the females elite athletes. We've got Amy Eloise Neal in there, Olympian, European championships in the 2021, I believe. Commonwealth Games 5k. She ran 15:07 in the US a couple of weeks back. So, you know, certainly a high quality operator there.
Absolutely. I think one thing we're really looking forward to is seeing her in the mixed race with the guys and the rest of the people, because, you know, she did express before the race that she wants to run quick. So she spoke to our race director, who we've just mentioned, Chris Parr, and I think it looks like it's going to be a perfect opportunity for her to maybe jump in with the guys, get some great scalps, and really try and break that 15:15 barrier that we're looking to try and break. Like Rich has just said, she ran 15:07 in USA. This was a few weeks ago now, opening race for the outdoor season. So, you know, almost splitting close to sub 9 minutes actually through 3k, just to show how rapid that actually was. And everyone who knows anything about opening up their racing calendar in the summer, the opening race is always a bit of a rust buster. You always go quicker afterwards. I've heard she's in good shape. We've seen her at Highgate last week pacing the women's elite race round. Some Olympic qualifiers, Megan Keith running the Olympic qualified for Team GB, so helping her do that. So is this her opportunity to go out and post a good time, ready to go back onto the track?
Yeah, Cam, I think the opportunity's there. I have a sneaky word from somebody on the athletics scene that Amy Eloise and the team, that they're feeling they can get close to 15 minutes today, and I think that's what they're gearing towards. So certainly sub 15:15 is the target, which, you know, as we discussed in the podcast earlier on in the week, that's going to bring some, you know, financial reward with it as well. But in terms of a performance, I think the team is looking to get around that 15-minute mark. So, you know, best of luck to her today, and we'll keep you posted as much as we can as that race unfolds, about how she's progressing with that. Some other names we need to mention as well. Emily Kearney, 15:39 performer. She was third place in the Newcastle 10k as well. So she's been at one of the top flight events before. So she knows what the setup is. She had a strong cross-country season as well, and she ran a 10k PB this year, 32.50. So, Emily's in really good shape. So she's going to be looking to, hang on the coattails of a quick pace and hopefully get pulled round to a PB. Another name that jumps out at me, Cam, in the female race is Paige Quinn, under 17, English schools, 10th place, third on the British Cross Challenge as well. She's got a PB of 16.49, so she's not going to be up there challenging for, the first and second place based on times, but these events are about performances at different levels, and I think for a junior like that, we need to acknowledge what she's achieved so far, and early on in her career. There's obviously potential for her to develop into a really good athlete, I would say.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a perfect field for it too. They've got a number of ladies all around the sort of high 16 minutes. We've got Anna Brace-Girdle from Salford. She did actually run 3,000 metres at the Loughborough International last weekend, 9:42. And she actually is an ultra runner as well by the looks of things, 4th at the IAU 50k World Championships last year, and also 3rd in Chester 10k. 13th in Chester 10k, but was first lady. So PB of 16.09, that'll be great for someone like our young under 17 athletes to be able to hang on to and try and get a good personal best here. We've got Millie McKenzie, I'm going to have to pronounce this incorrectly, if I'm afraid. McNesby, did I do that right, Rich?
You tell me.
Well, she's based in Leeds, so I know she's going to be, if she's anything like the stable they've got there at the minute, performing wise, then I think we're in for a bit of a treat for that one, because she did actually run the BMCA race at Sport City in 16:24. I'm assuming that's last year, and also she did run at Highgate in 2023 as well. She was 4th last year in the B race, and she's also represented England. So she's an England international athlete over the half marathon in Aintree. Interim. So 16:24 personal best and 34:06 for 10k. If the conditions carry on like they are, I think there's definitely room for a bit of a battle going on behind Amy Eloise Neal.
Yeah, absolutely. Cam, you look at the PBs or significant performances of some of the elite females we've got in this race. Barring taking Amy Eloise out of the equation, because she is a top level performer. I mean, you don't make an Olympic team or a European champs team, Commonwealths, without having like real pedigree there. So if we take Amy Eloise out the equation, it's a very competitive race for the athletes behind there. You've got Becky Straw in there from Birchfield. This is her season opener, and she's got a PB of 16:03. But I know she's coached by Luke Gunn, who I would say, in terms of coaches on the British athletics scene at the moment, he's a name that crops up a lot with athletes that are performing. I think he's coaching Isabel Boffey, 800 metre runner. He's been involved in the sport himself for a long time. Very good athlete back in the day. So when you see an athlete with that coach affiliated to them, you almost expect a solid performance from them. Obviously, we don't know any context to it, how Becky's training's been going, and things like that. But that PB of 16:03, if all things click into place as we're hoping they do for the athletes today, then that PB could certainly go. So she's the one to look out for as well.
Absolutely, definitely agree on that. I mean, the personal best speaks for itself, but I've spoken to Luke, and I know Luke very well, and his athletes are always in good shape because he's a fantastic coach. So I'm sure he'll be looking to see how she goes this year. She's back racing. Looked like she had a bit of an injury in 2022. She didn't really race much, but I was actually on a team with her in 2015 at the European Under-23 Championships thrown back the years. So she is a Great Britain international athlete over 10k, 7th there, and I think it'd be nice to see her return to some form this year. She's been running well, but I think by her standards, I think that you'd expect to see her time come down considerably. A sort of season best this year of about 16:59, it looks like, at Cardiff at the home countries international. Sorry, that was last year. So this is the actually opening race of the season for her, first race of the year. So hopefully this is a good race for her to really battle it out with some ladies at the sort of high 16. Maybe some of them will go sub 16, like we've just talking. Amy Eloise Neal, most definitely. But yeah, look, I think maybe we should move on and talk about some of the guys, because we've got a couple of good guys racing today. We've got a couple of 13-minute runners, a late entrant as well.
Yeah, late entrant in Omar Ahmed from Birchfield. So Omar, well, I mean, his resume speaks for itself, really. He recently won the Cheshire 10K in 2029 earlier on the year. So that's, 2029 for a win in a race. It's a good, a good standard anyway. He's also won the Bath Half Marathon and won the Great Brum Half Marathon as well. So, we've mentioned this in the past before. I think you can take times out the equation. What's striking about that is he's going to races and winning them, which is that's what you want as an athlete. So not only is he running quick, he's winning them as well. But his PB is 13:42 for 5K. So he's not the quickest athlete in the race on paper. We've got Sam Stabler, who's got a PB of 13:30, who's also lining up today. But Omar is in form because we can see them races that he's won previously. So, I expect to see Omar on the front, certainly. How he attacks the race, how the race unfolds at the front end, I'm not too sure. Looking at the stream there, the flags are going a little bit, Cam. It might be a little bit windy than we can really appreciate, and that will certainly alter the tactics that the athletes at the front of the race employ. But yeah, look out for Omar Ahmed in this, certainly. Sam Stabler's racing. I know Cam Sam on a personal level, so I'll let you give a bit more insight into him and how his training's been going and things like that.
Yeah, no, Sam's going well as far as I'm aware. He did tell me he's not in personal best shape quite yet, but after the injuries, it's hard to tell me the shape he's in. I'm not going to spoil the surprise, but I've heard he's in decent shape. He is going to go for a good... he's just looking to get a good quality race in today. So, I think him and Omar Ahmed will definitely in the early stages be battling it out. Like you were saying, Omar, we've seen him do it before. He won a Cheshire Elite 10K. He's won the Bath Half Marathon. He's won the Great Brum Half Marathon too. Red's just said, and I think he will no doubt. We've seen him before run at these races and run quite aggressively from the front. So I think he'll probably be looking to do that today, which is actually good news for Sam because I'm sure Sam will want to jump on the back of him. He's just back actually from altitude training in St. Moritz. He was out there for a little over 3 weeks. And he told me since he's came back, he's felt good, which is a positive because anyone who's been to altitude will know that it is a tricky one to get right. People can go there and quite easily overdo it and they come back and they don't run too well. But it sounds like he's got it bang on. And do you know what? Sometimes when you go to altitude and you're maybe not in fantastic shape, like he self-admittedly was, it can almost hold you back and keep the reins on you. But he is under the watchful eye of Rob Denmark. I'm not sure if Rob's there or he's watching it online. But Rob, if you're watching it online, hello. Good to be able to communicate with you through the mic. And I know Robbie ran fantastic world-class athlete, 13:10 man. But Rob, if you are watching this, I know 13:10, I'm sure that equates to sub 13 nowadays in them springs, doesn't it? And Commonwealth Games champion. They bought the based in Loughborough, training partner of Amy Eloise Neal, Melissa Courtney and Jess Spilsbury as well. And he is targeting 5K this year. I think he's just wanting to go through the motions really and get some races under his belt and really sort of target 5K, 10K next year and then move from there. Who knows, maybe on the roads one day. I think it's going to be a great run for him. He is a 13:30 man at his best. Like I say, he's not at his best quite yet, but he will be getting there. And he's not going to be miles off today, I don't think. So I think, it should be a good battle from the front and expect to see them both there for at least, I'd say, the first 50% of the race.
Yeah, Cam, I think another athlete I want to mention, we had a little chat about him before when we were running through the entries. Matt Jackson from Liverpool Harriers here. So Matt's got a PB of 14:19, 3:46 and 1:51, and he ran in Highgate the other week in 31 minutes for 10K. So, his 5K PB, it's up there. It's not as quick as Sam's or Omar's, but it's a very respectable 5K PB anyway. So I think the 31 minutes at Highgate, that can be a little bit deceiving. I always think that sometimes the track 10Ks, we expect because we're on a track, it's going to be a really, really quick time. And sometimes it doesn't translate, the psychological impact of 25 laps versus going out on the road and running 10K can really alter performances there. So I maybe wouldn't read too much into that 31 minutes, even though it's a solid run. I think there's probably a bit more in the tank today over the 5K, especially looking at the 151 and 346 that he's got to his name. So, you know, I'd like to see Matt up there and really sort of trying to hang on the coattails of Omar and Sam, because I think he's got an opportunity here, and he's got an opportunity to run quick, and he's got two lads in front of him that, you know, we know what Sam's about, Cam. He's a hard runner, isn't he? He likes to train hard, and he's going to get out there and go for it. There's no messing about with these kinds of events for an athlete like Sam. So I think Matt has got an opportunity there to just tuck in and, you know, get pulled round to a quick time.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like I was saying, I was speaking to Sam. Omar is a late entrant. Sam was talking to me about potentially pushing the pace on early doors. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Omar hopefully goes to the front. That would be great for Sam. Either way, I think we're going to see a very quick race. That sub 14:15 is a payout bonus of £250, as well as the extra money, a couple £100 on top of that for the win anytime. So yeah, there's some points up for grabs as well, and I've seen Omar racing at a number of these types of races in the past. You know, it's a good way to come out here and try and score maximum points for leaderboard. If you just look on screen now, you can see Amy, Eloise Neal, and Sam Stabler, who are, like we just said, are training partners, are chatting. Looks like they're having a bit of banter before the race, which is always good to get the pre-race nerves out the way.
Right, Sam's got a good tan on him, hasn't he?
Well, he's been out to St. Moritz, hasn't he?
Look at them legs, nice and broad.
He is looking tanned, isn't he? Man, he's just striding away. I mean, to be honest, I just seen him there. He's bending down. He was looks like he was rubbing his leg. There's no surprise there, but
he just want to rub that fake tan off.
Yeah, I know. But no, it looks like they're quite relaxed. Everyone's just having a bit of chat. It just shows, though. I think anyone who's run a race before, you know, if it's good weather and everyone stood around having a chat, not really running around too much, you think you can probably tell the conditions are pretty good out there. But just seeing Omar Ahmed as well, he's also there on the start line, so he's out here fresh. You know, I'm really looking forward to it. We've got I think it's about 3 minutes until the start, as long as everything goes to plan.
Yeah, it's good to see all the athletes just milling around together at the start there, having a little bit of chat on before the race. It's you know, it's nice to see that, Cam, that there seems to be more of a bit of a relaxed vibe there. You know, it's like sometimes, you know, races when there's, you know, a lot at stake, you know, nerves can sometimes get the better of some athletes, but with this it seems, you know, very relaxed, and it's almost like they're going out today. Obviously people are going to win, but a bit of a time trial as well, a bit of a feel out for where some of the athletes are at this early part of the season before they fully transition into the track season. So, you know, there's a lot going on in athletics at the moment, and people are taking different routes. You know, we've got a few big meets going on across the world, and we've had some big performances in the past week from some British athletics, some British athletes. Sorry, I've seen Jake Whiteman clocking a 1:44 opener, over 800 earlier on in the week. Elliot Giles 3:33. That was a big performance from him there. So, you know, there's a big mile race in America this weekend as well. Josh Kerr taking on Inga Britton there. So,
that's tonight, isn't it? So that should be a great, fantastic race.
You know, there's lots going on. There's been some big runs by British athletes. You know, already at this early stage in the season. So that's going to be. I mean, we see Keeley ran a 51.
Yeah, that was rapid
as well earlier on last week as well. So some big times going down, so hopefully we see something, you know, some big performances today as well, and see the athletes, you know, getting called, ready to get on that start line there. It's quite it's a small field, isn't it, Cam? So it's it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out.
I think from when we spoke to Chris Plough, he did tell me that, and tell us prior, that he is switching up a little bit, just testing out new things as to whether or not, you know, get the athletes out there before the masses, so there's a bit of a crowd there at the finish, make it quite exciting for people rather than having to line up against them. So yeah, I think that should be good. Hopefully the people will be there to watch. And it looks like they're off, and as expected, looks like Omar Ahmed has hit the front alongside Sam Stabler. Amy Eloise Neal also in amongst it. I mean, it just goes to show how good she actually is, the fact that she's just staying with them straight away. But yeah, no, I expect some fast times here. It looks like Ahmed has hit the front straight away. Stabler will probably tuck in behind him. I think that's going to be perfect for him, as long as he don't go off too fast. But it does look pretty rapid early on.
Yeah, Cam, they haven't half got out the blocks quick there. Omar he's absolutely rocketed out this first 200 metres there. He's taken a good few metres out of Sam anyway, and I know this isn't accurate all the time, but the lead bike showing a current pace at 2:36, which, that's quick by track standards. So they've obviously hit it hard. This is what we want to see though. Coming to these events, sometimes it's throw caution to the wind, get out there, run hard, run fast, and then you're going to be rewarded with something at the end of it. So we can see Omar taking it on there in the lead. In the lead straight from the front there. So he's at the front for the men's, and we've got the second stream on the go there, and we can see Amy Eloise on the front for the elite females as well. So, fingers crossed we get this pace is held and we get some really quick times here. But we can see the conditions look all right actually. You can see the trees in the background, doesn't look too windy. So yeah, let's see how this one unfolds.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've just seen there that Omar did go off pretty quickly indeed. The gap he produced on Sam Stabler straight away was a lot, but I don't put that down to the fact that Sam's not able to keep up. He is a mature athlete. Sure, he won't mind me saying. I'm sure he knows his pacing well enough now to be able to know that was probably a little bit too quick, and it will slow down. And I mean, we can't quite see the front right now, but when it gets back to it, I would assume that he was probably getting closer to him. You can just see at the front there, looks like Matt Jackson is round about where we thought he'd be as well, just off the lead pack. He's in obviously clean in good shape. But yeah, no, look, looks like we'll get back to the lead pack in a second, but Stabler is on the back of Omar Ahmed, so he's done right there, because sometimes, to be honest, if you can go off too quick, you can put a bit of a burst of lactate into the system. And it can, when you get into the latter stages of the race, if you're not clearing that out, that can be quite painful. So just taking the shortest route as well. It's a bit of an interesting one. Omar Ahmed is running on the outside. He's running the extra miles at the minute. Doesn't seem too fazed by that, but I'm not sure if he's aware that Sam's behind him. I'm sure he will be when he gets right up behind him. But yeah, the sooner that Sam can get right on the back of him and just tuck in, that's the better, I'd say.
Yeah, you can see what Sam's doing there. It's an educated move and an educated start. Like you say, you don't want to flush the system too early with a touch of lactic acid, because you might be able to process it in the early stages, but later on that's going to drain the tank a little bit. So yeah, Cam, what Sam's doing is the right way of going about it. And I would say similar to, if you look at the second stream that we've got going there, Amy Eloise, she's just built into the race nicely, this first opening K, and she's tucked in behind one of the male athletes there. So both Sam and Amy Eloise are approaching this in educated ways, I would say. So we're coming up to just over 1,200 metres into the race now. It still says we're operating around 236, 230, 240 pace, which I think has got to be slightly off, Cam, because that's...
to be honest, I think that could be, it will be a little bit off, but there are definitely... Omar is definitely operating, I'd say, on sub 14-minute pace at the minute. Whether he can maintain that's a different story altogether. Because I did see him take a quick look back to Sam Stabler, and then put another burst in, and just gapped him a little bit more. But again, like I've said before, Sam is a mature runner. It's sometimes if you put a burst in, if you're against maybe a lower caliber field, should I say, no disrespect, but that people may let them go, and he gets a big enough of a gap, and people just start to concentrate on behind them. But Sam will be pacing this to what he feels like he can do today, which, from what he's told me, he's in pretty good shape. So yeah, don't be too fazed by the gap that's opening up right now. Maybe I've seen Sam before running Armagh 5K. He did win that one year, I think. I might have been going back a few years now, probably around about 2019. But he did win that, and he wasn't at the front for the whole race. Trust me. It was only till the last 1 kilometre that we actually seen any kind of movement from him from the pack, and his last 1 kilometre was pretty rapid. And if you look as well, when I seen him run, I watched this video of him run actually one year in Stanford, his most famous race, where he ran his personal best of 13:30. His final 800 was actually 1:54, he told me. So, he can close quickly. It is on the road. It's not probably going to be as quick as that if he closes today. But yeah, don't be surprised if he does start to close the gap maybe in the latter stages. But there's a bit of daylight there already, isn't there?
There is, yeah. And you know what, Cam? Omar looks very relaxed. He looks pretty controlled on the front there. I know the time splits that we've got in the studio on the live bike might be slightly out. So, take these as an approximation. We don't want to quote too much about, oh, this is the pace he's on for, etc., because we know there is obviously slight delays with these things, and I noticed when we started, the clock didn't actually start in the corner straight away on the lead bike there. So, take them with a slight pinch of salt, but just look at his form. Cammy looks relaxed. I actually noticed him speaking to the lead bike as well, and asking which direction to go next. So he's looking controlled. Back to the second stream that we've got going, focusing on the lead female athlete there. We've got Amy Eloise. She's sat there with that athlete, the male athlete in front of her, and she's eyes fixated on the athlete back in front, and it's a good way to click away the kilometres when you're in a 5k race, and just focusing on the athlete in front, letting the legs do the work, and almost taking your mind out of the race. When you're running flat out, you don't want to be overthinking things. So as much as you can click away without having to think about it and just focusing on the athlete in front, it's gonna pay dividends down the line. So we can see them coming through, past the main stand there, Queen Mother stand. It looks glorious, doesn't it, Cam? The crowds
Absolutely.
are going, the cowbells
Absolutely.
are going. That's going to give the athletes some real encouragement now as they set off into their second lap. We will try and bring you some splits from the later athletes in the field. As they go past the run mats, they should be around about the 2k mark. So if we can get them up, we'll pop them on the screen as soon as we can.
Bang on, and 14 minutes at halfway roundabout from what the bike is saying. 2.5 kilometers through, in 7 minutes. So bang on what we thought. I did think this would be around about 14 minutes, this race. Hopefully we'll see Stamp Stabler starting to close the gap a little bit, but Omar doesn't look to be slowing down at this minute in time. I've seen him do it before. He does like to gap people and get ahead and sort of maintain where he's at, do enough to win and get that bonus, I would have thought. But yeah, like we were saying, Amy Eloise Neal, she's still running strongly. I'm not sure if you can see that on the screen on YouTube, but she is running strongly. She's still among some of the guys who will be going for around about 15 minutes. So their pacing should be bang on as well. So I think do not be surprised if we see a massive performance from her. This is a World Athletics Rankings event, so don't. So if she runs quick, that will count towards her rankings points, which will pay dividends later in the season if she's looking for selection at any point for whether it be to get into any high-end profile races. So great job from Chris Parr managing to get that certification. She has got a 3K this year indoors of 8:48, which is rapid. I would not be surprised if she can go a lot quicker than that right now, in all honesty, with it being the summer season and starting to come into... we're probably about 4 or 5 weeks now away from the British Championships outdoors, where she'll be doing the 5K, I would have thought. So, and looking to make her second Olympic team. So, yeah, great to see her out in great form. Looks like Omar's just now, there's such daylight between him and Sam Stabler now. I really can't see anybody else winning this apart from himself, unless Stabler manages to pull something unbelievable out of the bag. But yeah, we did actually have a comment from Danny Bolton in the chat as well, just to tap onto that. I'm looking forward. He says, looking forward to see this. I'm on the train now for the regular 5K later on. Great to hear from you, Danny. Good luck for your race. And yeah, the atmosphere looks like it's going to be pretty electric. We've already seen the Athlete Village with lots of freebies going on there as well. So make sure you grab some of them from our sponsors.
Yeah, so Cam, you can see on one of the live streams that we've got going now, we have got some of the map times in there. Now, they're not perfect, but there is accurate representation of the K pace that these athletes are running there. So for those that are joining us on the live stream, there's a little bit more information there about athletes and what time they went through the split on that. On the map that's around about the 2k mark, and it has got the kilometre pace that they're operating at there, so you can see what Omar's operating at roughly, you can see what Amy Eloise is operating at, and any of the other athletes that are on there. So that's a useful bit of information for anyone dialing in and curious as to how quick these athletes are actually operating. Cam, back to Omar and Amy Eloise, they both look as though that they're the clear front runners in both races there. Omar looks extremely relaxed, as does Amy Eloise, and I'll tell you what's great for Amy here, she's got herself in a little bit of a pack. There's 2 athletes in front of her there. She's tucked in nicely, and like I said earlier, she's taken her mind away from the race a little bit by just following these athletes in front of her. So you know, we've got to keep an eye out on Amy's time here because, like I said, the team were hoping to get around about that 15-minute mark, which is a huge run for Amy Eloise there. So that would be great to see. Omar, again, Cam, he looks relaxed, doesn't he? You can see why he's put daylight between him and Sam because he looks so comfortable at this pace, and he's operating around 14 minutes solo from the front. This is phenomenal running, I think, for a Saturday morning 5K, Cam. I'm sure you'd agree.
Absolutely. I mean, I was struggling to get out of bed this morning. I did have a bad night's sleep, just to reiterate that for the 5th time this morning.
Yeah,
but
tell you what, I've never heard you shut up about how much bad sleep you had last night.
But you can just see, look how relaxed his shoulders are. He's not really swaying much. He's looking at his watch. He clearly just wants to get under that 14:15. I would have thought would be his main aim for the day. There is absolutely huge daylight between. I mean, that must be at least 300 meters already between him and second place. Running on some cobbly bits there, not really slowing down. He's got just under a K to go, about 800 metres to go. But one thing I did want to note on what you were talking about, Amy Eloise Neal, and we're just looking at the live stream from our end now, and she is hanging on to the back at the minute of a group of guys. She actually
went past someone, Cam. The other athlete that was with them that dropped him now. So it's Amy Eloise. She's against the clock essentially here, but she looks good. She looks relaxed as well, doesn't she?
She does look relaxed, and she is pumping the arms away. So she can just see what kind of pace she's running at. And to put it into perspective, I did look at her split along the timing mat, comparing that to Omar Ahmed. She was around about, I would say, 40 seconds behind Omar. So I'd say she's definitely on for subs 15 at halfway, but we'll see what happens, whether she picks the pace up. I think she's actually picked the pace up since the first lap, because she has went past quite a few people. But yeah, Omar's just coming in now to the last 500 meters. Looks like he is slowing down a little bit. Nothing too much, but
obviously it's gonna take its toll on you, isn't it? Hitting a 5K that hard from the front, you know, he's done all the work himself. So hats off to Omar here. He's got out, he's attacked the race. So, you know, he deserves all the plaudits he gets for this run. I think it's a phenomenal performance. And, you know, same with Amy Eloise, she's got out there and they've gone for this. And I'm really intrigued to see what she comes across the line. And like I said before, the splits, the time on the screen might be slightly out. So what we're going to do is try and see the actual finish line clock as the athletes go through there. And then we'll bring you the chat on the finishing times there, and we'll get the results posted up as soon as we can. But yeah, approaching the last 200 meters now, Cam. He's
about
up, hasn't he?
45 seconds of running left, I would say, probably 50 in max. He is really struggling here now. I'd say his pace has dropped ever so slightly. He looks at his watch, and I think he's picked the pace up a little bit more now as he starts to come into the home straight. Only 0.2 miles to go, so little under 400 left. And, he's going to have to really work if he wants to get under that 14:15 on his own. You can just see the finish line ahead of him, so I think maybe he's going to do it. But, yeah, he will be battling all the way to the line here to try and get that £250 extra bonus that's been put on by RunThrough. But, yeah, no, Amy Eloise Neal as well, just behind her.
Oh, she looks great.
She's pushing past some of the guys now.
Great.
She's breaking free. She's pumping the arms. But Omar Ahmed, as he comes in now, straight to the finish. Look at this. It says 14.6 on our clock, 14.7. So looks like he's got under that time. Well done. But Amy Eloise Neal is just behind. We will hopefully get her on the screen in a second. She's pumping away from the guys now on her own.
She's absolutely flying, Cam. This is
phenomenal running. This is phenomenal.
Real quality running at the front there for Amy.
This is world-class running at the front for Amy Eloise Neal. As we expected, we want to see her get onto that 15:15. I think she's going to potentially do it. Let's just see if we can get her on the screen at some point from Danny, but he is across the line.
Yeah, so you can see the time there. Sam Stadler across the line about 14:45. So, you know, we're coming up to the 15-minute mark now. So any time we're hoping to see Amy Eloise coming through. I mean, she's approaching the bandstand, so we know she's close.
This is going to be close to 15 minutes, to be honest.
Come on, Amy.
Absolutely fantastic.
Running this. So 15:10 there for third place.
Wow, fantastic running there. Looks like that could be even sub 15:10. Unbelievable running.
I do think there's a slight delay, Cam, on the time. And
okay.
Eloise is coming through now. Here we go, 15. It's going to be sub 15:30.
That is phenomenal running, to be honest.
Great running, that.
Wow.
Amy. Well done.
In a race, like as you were just saying there before, to get up on a Saturday morning at this time, and it's a bit like running a park run. You get up, 9 o'clock start. Trying to get going is a bit of a struggle. She doesn't really want the medal on her neck right now, which is fair enough. She's run herself tight into the ground there. But yeah, to do that and, essentially not have a big pack around you and not have much competition is unbelievable running. She's clearly in very, very good shape. And, when you put her in a track race where she's surrounded by people and she's not having to take a lot of the wind on her own, you'd expect her to go under 15 minutes. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I think, just recapping what you said there, Cam, it's a phenomenal performance that to be, coming along and running sub 15:30 on a Saturday morning and a 5K. And it's like we always chat with the athletes, we don't really have much context about what's going on in the week before, or the weeks before in their training. We don't know whereabouts they are in a block and things like that. So, great running there from her. We will bring you the results as soon as we get them through. The chip times are slowly filtering through into the studio, and I think just got the nod there. I think we might have them, so we'll put them up on the screen. These are the live results coming through. So those of you that are dialed into the live stream will get them results popping up on there now. So we can see Omar Ahmed there at the front, and Amy Eloise in first place for the female athletes there.
Yeah, I mean, just looking back as well to the men's race, not sure the exact time for Sam, but we're going to have a look now. I'm sure he will probably be a little bit disappointed with that 14:47, but in all honesty, I think that's a good performance. 14:12 for Omar Ahmed on his own, on his chip times. A bit of a discrepancy there on his chip time and his gun time. Chip time 14:07, it says. I'm sure they'll put that down in his final result. But yeah, Sam Stabler 14:46 on his chip time. I think Sam should be very, very pleased with that. He's had a lot of injuries over the years. He's had a lot going on at the minute as well. A lot going on in his personal life. So I think that's great to see, and I think really proud of him. Everyone at the run-through will be ecstatic for him as well. Matt Jackson 15:10. Another good performance, really, really pleased with that. But I mean, you just look down there, some of the names that Amy Eloise nails past. I mean, bloody hell, 15:30, basically, especially the last part on her own, and on a 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning. I think that's absolutely unbelievable. It kind of just shows the quality of athlete that she is. But yeah, no, it looks like it's going to be a fantastic day for the rest of the crowd as well. The masses are out there, and they will be starting at some point soon. And you couldn't ask for a better bank holiday weekend bit of weather, could you?
No, it's I mean, it looks lovely here in Newcastle, but I'm sure the rain will come tomorrow as well. The rest of the bank holiday weekend, right on cue. But yeah, no, Cam, it's been a good morning of athletics there. Some really good performances. Highlights, obviously, Amy Eloise and Omar there. Both clocking really quick times from the front, and taking on some good cash prizes there. I think this this movement that RunThrough have pushed on with this Top Flight series, it's a slightly different take on athletic events than we typically see, and there's big cash prizes on for all the races. So anyone that's watching the stream now and has got potential to be in these elite races, feel free to throw your hat in the ring, so to say. You can see there we've got on the live stream some first and second, third. Cash prizes down to 8th place, starting from £450 to 50 quid in 8th place, and that's there's also bonuses for certain times that are hit. So like today, for instance, if Omar was sub 14:15, he was on for extra cash bonuses, and same for Amy Eloise as well. She would have been on for a cash bonus if she'd got under sub 15:15, which unfortunately she didn't. But nevertheless, these athletes are coming away with cash bonuses there. You've also got the bonuses for clocking UK leading times as well. So there's plenty of cash up for grabs at these events, and all this movement's trying to do is just to build really into developing races for athletes at that elite, sub-elite level. We've got some of the athletes with some of the events with World Athletic labels attached to them as well. So in a short space of time, this series of races has gone from an idea to an actual event that's taken place, and it's only going to grow over time. So it's the first year that we've run this series, and it will certainly be back, and it will certainly progress and develop over time. It just it just needs time and investment to grow into it, and that's what RunThrough have put into it. So it's phenomenal to see that this kind of event's being held.
Absolutely. In each race, as Rich was just saying there, that they do have a prize purse of up to £4,000, and this is split equally as well between the male and female athletes, and extra bonuses on top of the prize purse for meeting qualifying times, which we've seen today in the men's race, and which Chris has done a great job to really support and elevate top tier athletics in the UK, providing high level competition platform and rewarding exceptional performances with extra time bonuses, and also getting that world rankings certificated event. So times today posted will be posted as part of the World Athletics rankings, which is another fantastic thing that he's got going on there as well. And the current that means as well the current series standings, the men's leader at the minute is still Big Bad Bennett, Jason Bennett, with 33 points, but that is going to be an extra 25 points to Omar Ahmed. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out and does a couple more races to try and win the overall prize series, but that's yet to be seen.
Yeah, he's certainly got the ability to, hasn't he, Cam? He's picked up 25 points there in what I would say is it was a dominating fashion. He won that race. He's going to factor in any race that he runs across the UK on the road, I would imagine. So, he's going to be eyeing possibly some races later on in the series. Obviously, women's leader as well. We have had Nina Cheedness, a recent winner at Battersea Park, sitting on 25 points there. She ran a buzz of 15:20 something around Battersea Park. It was very quick. It was very similar to
15:34, yeah.
15:34. So, very similar to Amy Eloise's performance this morning as well. So, Amy Eloise is going to be sitting on some good points there, 25 that she's collected today. Whether Amy does any more of the top flight races, I'm not too sure, Cam, because I think her focus is obviously going to switch. She's going to want to be making Paris this year. So I would imagine she'll be shifting down onto the track now. And we wish the best of luck to her. We'd love to see her make another Olympic team. And you're crediting that to her top flight performance.
Absolutely. And like we were just saying there as well previously, is that we're just trying to really, with this series, especially with Chris Parr as well, the job he's doing across the UK now in general, not just the Northeast, is providing top tier competitions for elite athletes all the way down to people who are maybe just starting their first run. You can see a lot of people out here will be probably doing their first 5K today, which is absolutely fantastic to see. Running's on the rise. It's becoming a bit of a social media trend, which is great to see because it's really opening doors up for a variety of people. But yeah, look, if we can even just play a small part of trying to help people like Amy Eloise Neal, provide them a race to build into the track season and make the Olympic Games, that would be fantastic, because RunThrough really does like to support people of all abilities, and it's definitely one of their goals for inclusivity and accessibility and diversity. They really are committed to creating a diverse and inclusive community through their events. You can just see there that people maybe will be turning up today, and they'll be in the athlete village there. You can't really see the whole of the athlete village, but it is bouncing, trust me, when you finish a race. There's freebies all over. I was running around Jarrow when it was put on there, and I will be back again this October. I was in the commentary booth. I was without my ride or die partner Rich then, so it was a little bit sad, but afterwards I was running around getting lots of freebies, bagging myself some handfuls of protein bars for free. So if you are thinking about doing a run-through event, get entered, get in, try and get the full experience, and you could be, who knows, you could be in the athlete village stood beside an Olympic athlete.
Yeah, I mean, Cam, there's certainly plenty of run-through events to get entered in across the UK. We've got 240 events going on in 2024. So, like Cam said, if you're toying with the idea, don't just toy with it, do something about it. Get entered into one of them events and see what it's all about, because I guarantee if you do one of these, it will prick the interest and you will be back for more. That's an absolute guarantee from me. You know, Cam, we've got some big things coming with Top Flight and RunThrough as well, branching out into the track, pairing up with the BMC, bringing back track races to the Northeast, which mean you'll be supporting heavily. You know, growing up in the Northeast and getting them quality races maybe wasn't always available to us. But that's on the horizon. Next up in the Top Flight series as well, we've got the Jubilee Bridge 10k that's coming. Then in July we're back to Battersea Park for 5ks. August another Quayside 5k. Then September we've got the Warrington 10k. October Jarrow 10k. November Fulham 10k. And December we're closing out with the big one, Ribble Valley. So there's a series of Top Flight races for you there. But also we're going to be dotting in a little bit of track and field for you as well. And, you know, when you've got me and Cam on the mic for that track and field game, you know, you've got to get yourself down to that kind of event, haven't you, Cam?
Absolutely. I think that's going to be a cracker. It's been a while since the Northeast has had any kind of competition like that. It provides a great opportunity for people up north as well as down south. People probably will travel from down south to that event. Chris has done great. He's done this in his own time as well. Just, and a big props to, the likes of Matt and Ben, who has given him the green light to be able to do that in his own time and support that and support the development of athletics in the Northeast, because primarily the people who do tend to support to come out for those events is the younger athletes who are looking to get opportunities, because you can't really get into the Grand Prix races or the gold standard races when you are younger. So it really exposes them to what they may be able to aspire to get into when they get a little bit older. So even if you're in Scotland and you're looking for a good race on the track, do check out the Northeast BMC and in collaboration with RunThrough on the 22nd of June. I think I'm right.
Saturday, 22nd of June.
So yeah, check that out. And I also just want to highlight as well our event partner. It's as part of Aintree's commitment to giving back to the community. It's this year it is being chosen that Hits Radio Liverpool Cash for Kids has been selected as the charity of the year for the event. It's a great charity, really dedicated to supporting disadvantaged children and young people across the Liverpool area, providing vital funding and resources to help and improve their lives. And I think that's absolutely fantastic of RunThrough to choose them as the partner. Very fitting, especially after we've just announced the BMC being put on in RunThrough's own time, just to really try and help the community up in the Northeast as well.
Yeah, brilliant efforts from that charity and RunThrough pairing with them there. Really, really key. It's times are tough out there, so anything that's going to support these charities is what we're all about here. So yeah, great work.
You can just see the medalists there, Sam Stabler and Matt Jackson, two very good friends, both wearing the Hawker kit. I think Matt's definitely. He is working for Hawker now, as far as I'm aware. So, don't be. From what I've heard, the shoes are pretty good. But anyway,
I think the only way to really verify if the shoes are good, Cam, is if they send me a new pair.
I think we'd definitely
at some point. So Matt Jackson, if you want to spin some kit line at Cam's way, we will take and review. I have noticed race director Chris Park cutting about the scene there with his Top Flight gear on. The Top Flight series will be having merchandise. We will be selling t-shirts, shorts, the lot. And I tell you what, I seen Chris modelling them the other week and he looked very snazzy in them. So, keep your eyes peeled for that on the RunThrough store. Yeah,
you can just see as well, Amy Eloise Neal, we were just talking. I mean, the podium is in the middle of the athletes' village. So, you can just, we were just talking about how if you're maybe just thinking about going out and doing one of the RunThrough events, how you could just be walking around the athlete village, mixing it with the Olympians. She's an Olympic athlete and she hopefully will be qualifying again for Paris. So, it's great to see RunThrough mixing both the elite athletes and the mass participants as well. And hopefully plenty of money being raised for charity this year as well. But yeah, I mean, how have you? Also, I've got a question for you. How have you missed seeing Big Bob Bennett this time? Because we haven't seen him today, have we? It's the first time.
No, we haven't. I mean, he's committed a lot to the Top Flight series, hasn't he? So we can't chastise him too much live on the air. But I'd love to see showcase him back at one of these events later on the year. Chris was telling us though that he'd had a chat with him and he was thinking that the focus was maybe going to shift, wasn't it, to a bit of track and a few other
Apparently
events.
so.
The Top Flight series is long. There is plenty of events later on in the year. We'll be here in the winter as well. So we can see Chris Parr now on the feed on the mic. Oh, someone take that mic off and we could be here for hours. He'll be running through his power of 10 and his performances from 1998. I'm only joking, Chris, but no, great work from Chris here. So it's nice to see him getting some official presentations on the go. So we've got third place athlete there getting up onto the podium. Cam, I love this about these run-through events. There's a podium there at every race. I think like we only really got on the podium in championship races, didn't we?
Yeah.
Like to have them at the 5K event that you turn up to, they're making a real big deal out of it as well. I think it's brilliant. It just adds to the athlete's experience there. So that's we can see the three lead females there and top of the podium, Amy Eloise. So great running from them three. Hats off to them. You got out there and you really attacked it this morning. So great work.
Yeah, it's one of the benefits of having the race earlier than the mass participants as well, is that the atmosphere in this in the athlete village when the podium is taking place is going to be a lot better now. But yeah, no, Chris is doing a great job of making a big deal out of it, because it is a big deal to come out and win an event like this when you're racing against some of the top athletes that we see. I think they do deserve the recognition, and it's great as well for people to be able to see and witness this when they're just about to start their race. It's very inspiring indeed. But yeah, Matt Jackson in third place, Sam Stabler second, and it's great sportsmanship there from Sam, and Omar Ahmed in first place. And you can just see that they're all having a bit of banter and a bit of a laugh and supporting each other, which is what we like to see. So.
Yeah, it is, Cam. It's little things like this. It is just a bit of recognition to the athletes and what they go through day in, day out. The training that's put away. Yourself. You're in it at the moment. It's not an easy sport to contend in athletics. It's time consuming. It's hard. It can be a lonely sport at times as well. So little things like this are really. They're the niceties of the sport, and you've got to enjoy these moments, because athletics is a sport where you can have a lot more lows than highs. So I think something like this, really enjoy it, soak it up, enjoy it, enjoy the champagne.
It looks like they've got the champagne out. I think Omar's not keen on popping the bottle. I'm not sure if that's to do with maybe could be to do with religion or something like that, maybe potentially. But looks like Sam's took his place. I did see him laugh and drag Sam back into the picture, so looks like he's nominated Sam to do it for him. So fair enough. Yeah, no, it's great. It's a good bit of fun, and see if Sam can. I don't think Sam drinks either, to be fair. So I think maybe Amy Eloise is going to have double servings. So oh, there we go. You can tell it's not the first time. You can tell it's not quite F1, is it?
It's a little bit lackluster. Amy Eloise, Sam Stabler, you are both great runners, phenomenal athletes. Your cork popping, that could do with a little work. So maybe next time you're in altitude, that's something to think about in training camp. But no, brilliant scenes there. Class to see, and there's Chris looking at the camera, looking cool as a cucumber in them shades there. So yeah, great work from all the athletes today. Cam, I think we'll probably close out on the field now, because we're going to head into Masters race. So thanks for tuning in on the live stream. Cam, I'll let you close off with some of your thoughts on this morning's work.
Yeah, I thought it was a great event. We seen two fantastic performances at the front. Everyone else's performances, again, in respective and relative to themselves, were fantastic, especially for this time of day on a Saturday morning, bank holiday. I think they can go and go home, rest up, and enjoy the weekend. 14:07 on the chip time for Omar Ahmed, and on the chip time was around about 15:30 for Amy Eloise Niels. So two really, really good performances, something they can both be very proud of and move on now. And hopefully let's see them on the track as well. And good luck to Amy and Amy Eloise, and let's see her in the Paris. But yeah, looking forward to the next one. We are jumping up in distance for the next event, so do tune in for that. Do keep an eye out on the Instagram page. If you haven't followed the Instagram already, get onto that, because there is a lot more information on the different races. And yeah, good luck to everybody else. You can just see them warming up now. It's been a fantastic morning and really enjoyed it, both alongside my partner in crime, Big Rich. So yeah, good luck to everybody else racing today. And if you're watching at home, I hope your loved ones run safe and run to the best they can. Thanks very much for us tuning in today, and we will see you next month.